They're always come and lay down next to you when you're playing the guitar or at the mixing desk at the computer and stuff. So, and people have written to me on emails, and there's things on that people have said, oh, have you heard this CD? My cat's reacted to this. But I haven't, although the frequencies are, you know, around the cat frequency, a lot of the music, a lot of the guitar sounds, I've made sure they are, I haven't sat down and scientifically, you know, worked out exactly the right pitches for that reason. It's not meant to be, see how the cat reacts. It's just like, it's not a novelty record, but it's a record where you just enjoy it. It's a feast for the cat fan, basically, a pure feast for the cat fan. And your cats may or may not go up to the speakers, and but they probably will, because there's lots of purring and meowing in it, so they will at least look at that. But I think even the music, they're quite, you know, they might sort of lay in front of the fire and just chill out, and because it is relaxing music, a lot of it is, you know. So I think, yes, they probably do enjoy it, to answer your question. The Subtle Art of Mogology, Part 1. And on this track, it's quite sort of a laid-back ambient piece, and I talk over it, and I say all the words that cats do and are. I mean, there's about 40 words I say, you know, purring, washing, licking, playing. I missed out some words like puking, because I thought, no, I'll keep it sort of, but all the nice things that cats do. And so I say all these words over this, this soundtrack. And The Subtle Art of Mogology Part 2 is at the end, like a reprise. You've got tracks like Otto and Septi's tune, which are actually dedicated for specific cats. And that is for Otto and Septi, from Marilyn Edwards' first book on cats, The Cats of Moon Cottage. And the piece tells a story which coincides with the actual book, about their lives and how they live together, etc., etc. Another one was a couple of the ones for cats in particular, the Tortoiseshell, Barney's tune, that's for one of my cats I had. Purrs in Heaven, I mentioned earlier on about my cat Tigger Moo Moo who died. Theme from the Rose, one of my cats. But I mean, I've sort of named them after these cats, but it's, you know, it appeals to cats in general, really. But they tell little stories. Garden Times, a sort of guitar instrumental, where I've always liked sitting in the garden on the grass and just, and they come running towards you and they roll about. Garden Times expresses the summer, you know, planning the garden with the cats. There's a novelty track on there called The Kittens and the Pixies, quite an upbeat thing. The kittens and the pixies playing in the garden, chasing their tails. Bit of fun. So there's all styles on there. Ambient, guitar instrumental, dance music, classical, all sorts of stuff. Instrumental, so there's vocal expressions on there as well, talking about cats. But in all, I think just over 50 minutes worth, piece for the cat fan. So they're the general names, but yeah, they all mean something really, all the different titles. But The Subtle Art of Mogology is meant to sort of sum up what Mogology is, and that's all the things that cats do. My other releases can vary from very mystical type subjects to novelty records as well. Going back to the mystical side, I mean, I tend to only write about stuff that I'm really passionate about, hence cats. But also I'm very interested in mysticism and paranormal things, and one album is called Glastonbury. Nothing to do with the Glastonbury Festival. People think of the Glastonbury Festival when you talk about Glastonbury. But this is about the mystical land of Glastonbury, the Glastonbury Tor, the Abbey, the Chalice Well. That's one album. I mean, I love the moon. So there's an album called Moon Vibe, and it's a relaxation album of lunarscape. And I think cats are very mystical and very spiritual. I just think they have a knowing where you can watch them, and often they'll look at things that we can't see. There's one story which is actually in Marilyn Edwards' latest book. She writes about this, where I was watching television and my cat Tigger Moo Moo was on the coffee table in front of me, not facing me, she was facing away, and suddenly I was totally sober, just sitting there having a cup of tea. Actually, I was having a glass of red wine, just got back from doing a show, and at the corner of my eye I noticed this purple-blue vortex trying to manifest, and I thought, what's this? You know, it wasn't a ghost, I don't know what it was. I don't know what it was, but it was definitely something physically manifesting. What amazed me was not so much me seeing this vortex, is the fact my cat, not seeing my reaction, was stuck in mid-wash, washing away, and she just looked at this vortex and looked at it up and down, as if to say, what's this? And then it disappeared, and then she carried on washing. So that cat saw that manifest. I saw it with my own eyes, you know. So I think things exist we don't know about. So my music, again, expresses the interest and potential and excitement of wonders of the universe. And I think maybe that's why I get on with cats, because I think they're very spiritual creatures. So previous releases have been mainly on mysticism and, you know, a few pop records here and there as well. But I released stuff under the name The Energy of Love Formation. That's the working artist title. And the Energy of Love Formation could be me. I mean, I produce it all, but I might get in, if I need a monk to chant, I'll get a monk in. If I need a female vocalist, I'll get a female vocalist. If I need a rapper in, I'll get a rapper in. If I need a cat to meow, I'll get... So the Energy of Love Formation is whatever exists at the time to what I produce. So they're the other releases, and they're all available still as well, you know.
And, of course, the all-important question, are there any more plans for a Mogology 2 in the pipeline? Or?
I don't know. People keep saying, you know, you could do Poochology for dogs. But I think the thing is, I like all animals, but I'm really passionate about cats. And I think the thing is with Mogology, it came out from me. It just happened. I can't actually remember sitting down and writing the music. It just like was there. It just come through me. Over the last 15 years, it's just turned now into purely making records. I still teach guitar and music theory in my studio, and also I do cabaret shows as an instrumentalist, guitar and mandolin around the world, you know, from Africa to Portugal, you know, the Pontons and Warner circuits. Having said that, I did that full time in the 90s, 6 nights a week doing these tours, 20-minute, 40-minute cabaret shows, working with people like Joe Pasquale, you know, these very, you know, variety, very glitzy showbiz stuff. But all I do now is say make the records and still teach, but I pick and choose the shows. You know, I went to Spain earlier this year, just did some shows there. So it's just nice to be in the position to, I couldn't not do it again. And I never really play the Energy of Love Formation stuff live. When I do the cabaret shows, it's just, you know, Kevin Dean in cabaret. So maybe one day it'd be nice to do some stuff, maybe put one number into the cabaret act, you know, some ideal stuff on Mogology, sort of very sort of guitar-y things, guitar instrumental. But people say I'm lucky to have a job that I enjoy, you know, and I'll say, well, it's not always enjoyable because it's hard work. You know, you spend a year in the studio recording an album. You can see in your mind what you want. This music and the purring and the meowing, I'm talking about Mogology in particular, you know. A lot of hard work, and it's nice when it's done. You know, it's nice to sit here and talk to you about it, and it's out there, it's in the shops, it's available. But the actual, well, you've got your own studio, you're recording, must be lovely to get out of bed in the morning and go to your studio. But you've got to have the motivation to do it. You know, I don't sit there thinking, here we go, in the studio, it's hard work. Like any job, I suppose. But I am lucky, I think, to be able to do something in the art world, you know, the music world, media world, because it is so exciting and the potential, you never know what's going to happen. So it's interesting, and you never know what's around the corner.
So tell us a little bit about the artwork on the discs.
The artwork, I know an artist called Rachel Bessie, who actually lives in the same village as me. And she travels the world painting, doing her art. And I approached her and said, would you be interested in doing a cover for the Mogology album? And she said, well, yeah. So she'd done some sketches, and I think when you commission something, it's always quite nerve-wracking, especially for me, but also for the artist, because I'm thinking, well, am I going to like it? You know, what do you say if you don't? But as soon as she put it in front of me, it was like, that's it. That is definitely the cover. So straight away, we had meetings and talked about what I wanted, and you know, I sort of mystical cover, the moon and some pixies running about, and the night sky, and the intense cat eyes. Come round, this is it, and I was thrilled to bits. So I'm really pleased with the cover.
Well, thank you very much, Kevin, for coming in and talking to us, and I'm certainly going to grab myself a copy, and I recommend you do too. Join us again on Catworld TV very soon.